Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today with a silly movie review, two movies, in fact. Now, the first one I saw, I'm going to review second, and the second one I saw, I'm going to review first. And the first one I saw, I have a little bit of a story behind the video, too. And I want to dedicate this to my friend Kawhi, otherwise known as Demonic Pretty, because she likes silly movies like I do and silly stuff. And the very first movie I saw on Amazon, well, I saw them both on Amazon Prime. It's called Inhumanwich. And this is, I mean, it's trying to set itself up to be like a 50s style sci-fi movie with the beginning and stuff like that. You know, tried to put you in a 50s spirit, I guess. Somewhat serious, somewhat Curse of the Weir Skunk, which John and I reviewed about, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. Except they probably spent more money on that than this one. This one is shot in black and white, and it revolves around this NASA-like company shooting a rocket ship into space, and they're talking about when the guy goes into space, they're testing out this thing to test for anti-gravity because the guy's going back and forth like it's really low budget, and they had a thing where they just have regular Earth's gravity just so they don't have to do the effects, and it's really low budget. And he talked about his sandwich. He said like he had a sandwich. His girlfriend made him. No, his wife made him a sloppy Joe sandwich. And then all of a sudden they were talking about coming close to a meteor shower, and they were talking about that one thing that changed the Earth that has a ton of radiation with it. And something happened. There was a big meteor shower, and then things go haywire and stuff, and there's like a big thing of a blob that comes out through this vent. And then Sloppy Joe fell on it, and then he fell on the Sloppy Joe sandwich. And then he ends up crashing Earth and becomes a Sloppy Joe monster. And at first he looked like the monster in, that Frankenstein meets a space monster. Which was low budget, but I think the budget helped that one a lot. That was a really good one. And also, I don't know, maybe a little bit of not really Incredible Melting Man. And then from that point, he transformed into more of a Sloppy Joe type creature. And they have, it's a comedy though. I mean, it started out a little bit, and then it started getting funny when it went into the forest and stuff. And it's very low. Oh, it reminded me of Monster Go-Go with that giant, alien fitting in that small. That was a Herschel Gordon Lewis one. Now, I guess he took over directing duties for that one guy, but the Herschel Gordon Lewis sci-fi movie. I remember seeing that. That was a good one, too. That was low budget. I mean, and this one's really shot in video and like really low budget. And they talk about how to defeat this monster, and it's really, really silly. I wish it would have been a little bit funnier, but there was a lot of good funny parts in it that I laughed at. I think my dad would have liked it, too. I mean, he would like some of the silliest that's in it. And some of the jokes with the military and stuff was pretty good, too. And at the very end, they have a little blooper if you stay all the way till the end of the movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. And then the monster at the when they show the monster at the end, it reminded me a lot of the monster from The Crawling Eye, except the eye wasn't as big as the Crawling Eye one. Not to be confused with an Attack of the Eye Creatures. That was a different one. Or was that Invasion of the Eye Creatures from 71 or something? I think it was Attack of the Eye Creatures, I think. Or just called the Eye Creature. Damn, I'll have to look. But I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Now, the second movie I saw, which was actually... Now, the second one I'm going to review, which actually the first one I saw, was called Trick or Treats. Not to be confused with a heavy metal horror movie starring Skippy from Family Ties. This is a different one. Now, when we used to rent movies, we'd rent movies from all over. We'd go all the way into not Greenville, but Erie, which would be unfathomable now after, But at the time we did. I mean, we went like big distances to rent movies and stuff. And there was one place in Girard or Fairview we rented movies. But I mean, the main place we rented movies was from Home Video Exchange. And then, I mean, later on it became the Albion one place, Family Video Rental Store in Albion. But I mean, with Home Video Rental place, that's what John called Lampman's. they had like three home video rental shops. That and they had Knight's video store. I never knew where Knight's was at. My dad said this place doesn't exist because I want to say Knight's was better, but I thought Lampman's was better. My dad always got mad. I said all they have here is horror films, all horror films. I thought it was cool. That's why I first found out about Herschel Gordon Lewis with that giant. They used to have the giant box sets. It was for Blood Feast, and they had the girl with the blood in her mouth and the tongue and the the thing where she got her tongue ripped out. It was obviously a sheep tongue, like about this long. And with and I saw that, so I want to get this, but I didn't let my mom or dad. Well, all you had to do was just look at the number, just say, "Do you have this number?" And they say yes or no. My mom or dad didn't see the cover, or they wouldn't let me get it. By God, I watched it, or they would have been forbidden me to get that. I was in high school at the time, but they were real picky about what I could watch and stuff like that. They said I couldn't watch Night of the Living Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. They didn't care about the sequels or Halloween because they went to this one Erie library, and this lady said these movies are all gory. My dad, I don't want to see anything gory. And then I remember him renting the Dead Zone for that, and that girl says gory, and then my dad wanted to see it, and he said that's not gory at all. Well, once to see what the scissors was, that was about it. And my dad said this wasn't gory at all. I said, "Let's cut your ass an old lady." About that, he was I don't know, he was against that though. But I mean, after the army, they didn't care. But I eventually watched all his movies anyways. But it's weird because he talked about Friday the 13th, but they didn't care about the sequels. The sequels are bloodier than the original one. The original was pretty tame, pretty much close to PG-13. I mean, the uncut may be a slight R, but not very much, But I mean, this movie, Trick or Treats, at Home Video Exchange, they had a whole bunch of movies there, horror films. And there are a lot of movies I saw that I was like, I don't know if I want to get, like curiosity pieces. I remember The Force was one. I finally saw it, and it was okay. And there was a whole bunch of other ones that, just stuck out in my mind, but I never rented it. Could usually rent one or two movies for on a weekend, and that'd be it. Or I'd get a chance to rent a movie, and that's about it. Oh, yeah, I know. See, now I lost my train of thought. It's going out of the station. I mean, but there were some other ones I didn't rent. I kind of get curious if these were any good, and Trick or Treats was one of them. Because Vestron had a whole bunch of horror films in there. And it was weird because they have a big box. On the back, they have a big, giant description of the story and stuff like that. Sometimes they made it sound interesting, sometimes they did not. And I don't know if it sounded that interesting, so I didn't rent it. But I saw it was available for free on Amazon Prime, so I said, oh man, I want to see it. And it has Carrie Snodgrass in it. David Carradine, Steve Railsback, Paul Bartel's in it, and Peter Jason's in it as but it was weird because at the very beginning you see like Carrie and her husband was just played by Peter Jason. They were just talking, then she calls in people with straitjackets come and take them away to the insane asylum, and they fight and stuff like that. Then that's the last you hear of them, and it's like several years later, this, I guess she's settled in with another person, David Carradine, and they're magicians, and they have a son that's a magician too. A little 10-year-old kid, And this girl's called to babysit the kid, and he's a real brat. He plays all these nasty tricks on him, some magician tricks, some other stuff. Like he's like slicing something, he slices his finger off and stuff like that. She gets really mad. And then they show the insane asylum when I got that, and the stuff in the insane asylum is so fake looking. It's a very cheesy looking movie, very bizarre attempt at horror. I mean, it's not really I guess it's kind of a takeoff on Halloween, but not really, but sort of. Because there was the one I saw in 4D called Offerings, which was a complete blatant ripoff of Halloween. I mean, that was like shameless. That's something George Sender would do. If he had any talent. But I mean, with this movie, it's just really weird. The babysitter plays all these tricks on this girl. Lots of dialogue and stuff like that. I really started to get into it though. It's very bizarre and very kind of funny. I don't think it was meant to be funny, but there's some scenes that were so it had to have been intentionally funny. And then that guy breaks out and he said, "I'm coming home to my house," just like in Halloween. And eventually he has this long voyage to get home and stuff like that. It's very bizarre, but very entertaining though. I mean, and then I don't know if people want to see this at the theater because I mean I can't remember who released it, but it's like I have a couple new companies release it because sometimes the older films get distributed by other companies so as they get older. You know what I mean? You might see that in some other films, I guess. It's just really weird, and then I mean, it's kind of like really bizarre comedic tone, but she's very cheesy though. And then it kind of gets serious during the last 20 minutes, which is very unusual. It's a very strange film. I think John might like it. I don't know. I'm sure people went to the theater and weren't expecting to see something like that. I loved it though. I was very entertained by it. I give it a 9 out of 10 for Trick or Treats. I really enjoyed this. So, Kawaii-ko, I hope you like this video. Demonic Pretty. Until next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion, for another obscure movie review. You good.